Now, it's time to talk party politics. Ahead of the 2027 general election, the wave of defection is sweeping across Nigeria's political landscape as governors, senators, and party loyalists shift allegiance in search of a new platform. Now, from the governing All Progressives Congress to the People's Democratic Party, the emerging blocs, political camps are shifting fast in what many described as a battle for survival or relevance. Analysts say the movement reflects growing discontent within political parties, unresolved leadership crises, and any strategy positioning for power. As alliances break and new ones formed, the big question remains: will this defection strengthen democracy or deepen political instability ahead of the 2027 general election? We have joining us via Zoom, member representing Yewa North, Imeko Afon Federal Constituency, Ogun State, Boyega Nasru Isiaka. And we also have a PR consultant, public affairs analyst, Dr. Ambrose Igboke. Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Good morning.
Let me start with the honorable member. It's a good one for your party at the moment. Governors joining the All Progressives Congress. What do you make of this development, and what exactly is happening concerning politics of opposition in Nigeria? Are we drifting into a one-party state?
Well, thank you very much, and good morning. Well, it's something that is not unusual. You know, this is the Fourth Republic. We saw it in the first, in second, in third, and even now. And even now, since this started in 1999, you know, we have also seen it with the ruling party of yesterday. So to me, it's not unusual. Are we drifting into a one-party state? I don't think so. We are running a multi-party system in Nigeria, and you know, there are institutions to put checks and balances in place. It is the opposition that will have to organize itself. The ruling party cannot be the one that will organize opposition. You know, so to that extent, and you know, the parties are there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, just recently, INEC even registered some additional parties. And you know, Section 40 of the Constitution gives everybody the right, you know, to freedom of association. You know, so I think it's this freedom that is being exercised. And like I said, you know, the ruling party will have to do its job to ensure that, you know, the government runs well, and then it gets stronger, while the opposition party will also have to organize itself to also ensure that it gives the right opposition that is, you know, supposed to be given. You know, so I think that our system we are running, our constitution, has enough checks and balances to ensure that, you know, we do not have, you know, a one-party state. All the things that have been done within the purview of the law. You know, like I said, aside from Section 68 that says that National Assembly members cannot move unless there's a division in the party. Every other, you know, law gives the right of association. So that's what is being exercised. So to me, I think it's very much in line with what our law says as of this moment, and you know, everybody's just exercising that, and I do not see any fear of one party state. We didn't have it yesterday, so we cannot have it today.
Dr. Igboke, do you agree with what the Honorable has said? Do you think that Nigeria is not at a danger of a one-party, of becoming a one-party country? Dr. Igboke, can you hear me? Dr. Igboke, can you hear me?
Loud? I'm struggling to hear you.
Okay, I'll repeat my question. I'm asking if
your colleague can ask the question. Your colleague is loud.
Okay, wow, okay. I said, do you agree what Honorable has said? Do you disagree that Nigeria is not becoming a one-party state or moving towards being a one-party state?
Well, the truth about what is said also about opposition parties not organizing themselves is factual. It is the truth. The opposition has never been disarrayed as it is now from both the First, Second, and Third Republics, even in this Fourth Republic. But where I always digress with him is that it is usual. This is not usual. What we are noticing today is not usual for those with the political history of Nigeria, both in the First Republic, where we had a parliamentary system, And in the Second Republic in 1979, when we started the presidential system, and in the aborted Third Republic, it has never been like this. Even though the Third Republic had just two parties that were given to us by the military, the SDP and the NRC, there were no opportunities for multi-party system. But when we came to the Fourth Republic, we had a multi-party system, and we were able to experiment. Remember, when we started, there were strong parties that emerged. The PDP emerged dominant. We had APP that was a lot of states in the north adopted. Then we have the AD, Alliance for Democracy, that was also adopted by very strong footing in the southwest. What we saw was that a defection power play that at least ousted the PDP. But when PDP was in power, there was a strong opposition from the ACN, from the ANPP. We had a strong opposition there. And then finally, when the opposition now had a convergence that came together and aggregated their assets, and they were able to form the APC. And the APC was able to knock out the ruling party, the PDP. What we now had was, over that time, the PDP could not play the other game that the APC played, which is the opposition. Maybe they were too used to power because they had power for 16 unbroken years. Maybe they became too comfortable. And when they found themselves suddenly in the opposition, they could not able to play the opposition card. And what has happened from 2015 to now was a gradual, disintegration and degradation of the PDP, which is the dominant, opposition party. So what we have today has never happened. Where, for example, within a few months, the governors from an opposition party in that number moving to the ruling party in just one fell swoop. It has not happened before. So this is a new development. And I heard an APC chieftain saying that the target is that before 2027, to have 30 governors in Nigeria that are APC, from the APC. That is huge. That is monumental. We know where this game is, that the governors are basically the foot soldiers, the political mobilizers of their states. And any president that has the governors as his party member, of course, is positioning himself for serious victory in the coming election.
Dr. Igboke, let me put you on the pause at the moment. Let's quickly get the reaction of the honorable member of the House of Reps there. There's this report saying from the World Bank that 129 million Nigerians are still living in poverty despite economic reforms. What is making all these governors dump their party to join the APC? Look at the report from World Bank. How do you now juxtapose this with some of the economic reforms that is being brought out by this administration?
Well, I do not have the details of, yes, I heard about that number, but I do not have the details of how World Bank came about 139 million. But I think the truth of the matter is that at the macro level, this government has done very well, which everybody, which even the World Bank agreed. In fact, to my surprise, they even projected that the GDP is even going to grow at about 4-point-something%, as against 3.5 or so percent that was in the budget. And all the indicators, inflation rate, just few days ago, inflation rate dropped to 18-point-something. 15% was the target in the budget. And interest rate for the first time in about 3 years. It's also having a downward slope. So many of these indices pointed the fact that we are now having a macroeconomic stability, which is not contestable. Now, it will take a bit of time for this to dissolve down. But in the meantime, there are so many palliatives and measures being taken by government to ensure that people do not feel this too much. So there's so much of that. In terms of what could be affecting these governors and members to move, I look at it from, I said there are push factors and there are pull factors. Factors in the sense that where there is instability in a party, if you have run an election before and 1 month, 2 months, even weeks with the election, you do not know who exactly the candidate is. You know how dangerous and risky it is to be a candidate or to run in a party that is not stable. So instability in the main opposition party may also be a factor. True. And that is what the Governor Diri probably refers to by saying the obvious, by saying the obvious. I think in terms of what I call the pull factors, what are some of those that are attracting them to certain parties? The performance.
Let's do some postulations this morning, Honorable Member. Governor Diri is yet to declare where he's going. Is he coming to your party?
No. But he said that he's resigning for obvious reasons. Where he's going is another thing. I do not want to hazard a guess. But whatever the reason is, he said he has resigned for obvious reasons. And I'm saying that those obvious reasons might also be something that is very obvious. Even 2 to 3 days ago, when the INEC chairman was being screened, there was also this joke by the Senate president that talking to one of the senators that who is going to sign your form. Those are the challenges you have in a party that is not stable. I've experienced it before. So those instabilities can also be a factor to it.
Let me quickly put you on the pause. Let me quickly put you on the pause at the moment. My colleague, she's having some questions, but Dr. Igboki, let me get your reaction on this party crisis in the opposition party, something being raised by the honorable member there. What's your reaction ahead of the 2027 election? How can these opposition parties resolve? We have the ADC also coming up, the coalition ahead of this 2027. What's your reaction to all of this?
I must, give kudos to APC. I'm not saying this out of affiliation or empathy or whatever. I'm saying this out of cold, hard facts. For a party to have an agglomeration of different blocks, strange bedfellows from ACN, from CPC, from some splinter group in ANPP, from the new PDP then made up of some governors leaving, 5 blocks that made up the party. One would have thought that they would disintegrate all, at least by the end of 2015 election, when the positions are being shared, the solidification are achieved, that the party will start having serious internal crisis and that may make it break up. But to all intents and purposes, they have managed to keep all these different factions that make up the blocks that make up the party. They have decided they succeeded in making it intact. Despite they had their quarrels, they had their intrigues, they had a lot of challenges, but they're able to, coast to home. And so for me, it is how a party should run. And but what happened to PDP? From 2015 till now, PDP has been on the downward trend, has been on the path of perdition. For example, let's take the case of Southeast. The PDP, as at before 2015 election, had like 3 states in the Southeast, had 3. They don't have Imo and Anambra going into the 2015 election. By the time we reached the 2023 election, and after the election had been done, we had only 1 governor from the PDP in the Southeast, which is the governor of Enugu State. One would have thought too that, the PDP will pamper or appease to whatever is the issue so that that at least can have one foothold in the Southeast. But no, what did they do? They rather went against the governor and tried to ridicule him, tried everything possible. And that means this was deliberate effort to ensure that the PDP is not in Southeast. So what do you want the governor to do? Sit down and allow himself to be messed up? No. So he had to move to APC. Now PDP is not in the Southeast. The opposition political parties seem to be on a self-destruct mode. And that is the only way I can describe it. The ADC itself, we could see that people, one of the things that made APC stand is the concessioning agreements, meeting themselves on halfway. And that has worked for them. But look at ADC. Everybody wants to be presidential candidates. Nobody wants to back down for the other. And that is also the problem where the coalition may not be able to work because everybody comes with his baggage and with a superiority complex kind of persona, and they want to all have it their way. That way, then they will not be. I want to paraphrase what the president said in his That was May 29th speech, where he said that, well, when he was responding to accusations of trying to turn Nigeria to one party, he said that, well, that he's a Democrat and he wants a plurality of choices.
Okay.
But at the same time, he will enjoy the view that the opposition is in disarray, that he enjoys the fact that they are in disarray, because it will give him more leverage. And that is the situation on ground now. So there's no political party that will not rejoice that his opposition cannot find its feet.
Okay, thank you. Honorable, I have this question for you. What is the ideology of the APC? You have been in the party for quite a number of years, and some of these defectors are saying that they are lying to the APC, which is why they are moving. So what is the ideology, or what are the values of the APC?
Sorry, I didn't get that question.
Okay, I said, what is the ideology of the APC? Some of these defectors are saying that they are moving to the APC because they now identify with the values of the ruling party. Okay. So what is the ideology of the APC?
Well, basically, what they are saying, I mean, for instance, someone mentioned the Nembe Brass Road in one of the reasons, that the extent at which this government has, enhanced infrastructure across the nation in the last, in the last 2 years. And then also the very bold and courageous attempt by Mr. President to ensure that the macroeconomic stability is achieved, and also the enhanced growth and development within the within the nation, and the way this is being felt by the states, because there are states that have, for instance, increased their salaries, I think twice, Imo State or so, in the last few years. There are, in the last few months, there are states that were owing salaries. There are states that are owing various things in the past. All of these have been addressed because of the approach of this president, of this government, of this party into governance, which is that enhance the macroeconomic stability that we have, increase all of that, also ensure that while that is being done, you also ensure that you give enough to the vulnerable, so that they are they can also live a life where stability is achieved. And then also, with all the vigor that we have, I think those are the the ideologies that this government has pushed. It's basically welfarism within market determined stability, and I think that has really worked. It has worked because we have seen the result in terms of those numbers I mentioned before. Is it inflation? Is it foreign reserve? Is it the stability of the naira and all of that, and also the inflation rate? And that is also being reflected, here and there. So, those are some of the things that and those are the things I call, the pull factor in what I said earlier.
Let me quickly
encourage a lot of people to join this government.
Let me quickly put on a pause, Honorable Member Dr. Isiaka. Let me go to Dr. Ambrose Igboke. Now, Nigerians are watching to see how all of this will pan out in 2027. The former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, is yet to declare for the APC. Also, the Labour Party 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, is also yet to declare for the ADC. So these are people Nigerians are also looking at. So how will all of this pan out? If they are saying that we have dumped our party and they have not officially declared, oh, this is the party I am going. Atiku is yet to declare for the ADC. Peter Obi is yet to declare for the ADC. So how do you see all of this pan out ahead of the 2027 election? Is this too early?
Well, you can see that the All Progressive Congress has already consolidated its ground by wooing governors, and then the governors are moving over. Because for those who know Tinubu, Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when he was in Lagos, for those of us who lived in Lagos and watched his trajectory for many years, from 1998 up till recently, we found out that he's a very dexterous politician. He knows his onions on the ground. He knows how to persuade, he knows how to woo, and he knows how to, embellish his political base. And that is what he has started doing already. When I hear people say, "Oh, they are forcing governors to move," I just have a good laugh. It's not about, it's the power of persuasion, So the governors are moving in droves from the opposition. So what we have now is that we have a very, very weak opposition. The coalition itself is, we are not seeing anything coming out from it. They have not been able to have consensus among themselves. They have not been able to shift grounds. For example, that is what has been delaying them. You said they have not declared. They have not declared. One of the reasons many of them have not declared is because there are no consensus yet, and it's taking too much time. So if you are a very serious political party or an opposition coalition, these things somebody should sacrifice. So why you are not hearing declaration is that Peter Obi wants to be presidential candidate. Atiku Abubakar wants to be presidential candidate. Kwankwaso wants to be presidential candidate. And that is where the problem is. Because when you have a coalition of people who have their own baggages and are insisting that their own baggage must be the one that must be placed on the table, that is where you have issues. Come 2027, it is getting very late for the opposition to get their acts together. We're already in October. By next year is 2026, and just barely a year to the elections. Many of the parties will be having their congresses between November and December next month and the upper month. And this is where you consolidate and just put in track what you want to do in 2027. And many of the opposition are not doing it. So already APC have set its date to maybe around November, December. They will soon announce that, according to what we read in the papers. It is the opposition actually that's supposed to be more organized. That's supposed to be even ahead of the game.
Dr. Ambrose, I'm afraid this is how we draw the curtain on this discussion this morning. But a quick one in just 10 seconds, if you can quickly react to this. Doye Duriye has left the PDP. Is he coming to the APC? Do you see that anytime soon? In 10 seconds?
Well, we're going to do permutations about this. In the next few weeks, we will know.
All right, so PR expert Ambrose Igboke, many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. Also, member representing Yewa North, Imeko Afon Federal Constituency, Boyega Isiaka. Many thanks for joining us on the program.